Once again to present the tools and paths that you have access to in Wowzers, just kind of highlighting those. I know that you've already most likely have previewed our curriculum, but right now we're going to take a look a little bit further at what would happen when you begin a sample class. And this is just really sort of top level, just an overview of some of the tools and the paths that you can actually put your students on. Now what we've done here is we're going to, and you just have to email me, it's not a problem. We will give you a sample login. Usually following a live demo, we give you this sample, and it is cozy@example.edu. And we also give you the password here, which is wowzers, the word wowzers. So when you go into login, you would actually fill in just as this user right here. And once we do that, sign in. Takes just a moment here. And we will be looking at Jody Cozy's main page here as a teacher. You'll see that it naturally opens up to her dashboard. Again, when you look at a name, anywhere a username within Wowzers, that username is a drop-down menu. So when you come down here to curriculum, that is another button on the web page that you could have previewed as well. But where we're really looking right now is at the teacher's main page. Important to highlight here, whenever you log in as a teacher to go back to your main page, you're going to come over here to the upper left-hand side and click on that yellow W. That will always take you back to the main screen here for the teacher. Now for our purposes today, we're going to be looking at Miss Gibson's class. Jody Cozy was an administrator with us. She worked with us in the past, and she was actually in charge of an administrator for us with Wowzers of 2 different classes. We're highlighting the 3rd grade here. So just a few things to note here. In looking down, you will see your students listed here, but there are also cartoon images of themselves. That's actually an avatar that the student develops. That's the first activity that they do in Wowzers. It kind of personalizes the experience. They do get to pick their skin tone, the expression on their face, and even their hairstyle. So again, they'll see their character interacting with the program, and it's also the way that they earn extra points. They earn those extra points or Wowzer coins for their avatar. Another motivating thing for students as well. And going across the dashboard, really like your grade book here, you have your student names, but also very easy to follow going across. This is a 3rd grade class, so this is 3rd grade section 1, 3rd grade section 2, and so on, 3rd grade section 3. So first number grade level, 2nd is the section. And you see the grades listed below here. These are actually averages of the assessments that the students have taken for us. And remember, they are directly in line with Common Core and the next generation assessment test that your students experience during the school year, coming up usually in the spring. I like to show this as well. We can highlight or we can look at here any one of these scores are hot links. You can click on that. Click on any one of the scores and it drills down and it shows you exactly how the student performed on every single activity. And you can see the scores here and how they progress. What's also important is that you do see the quiz scores that are hot links as well. If we click on one of those, you'll also see what questions the students had and which ones they got right or wrong. So you'll see even down here we've got drag and drop questions that are presented. Here are multi-tiered questions as well. A little bit open-ended. Going further down, and let's see, it would be in slide 8 and 9. Those links right there are missing, but we do have extended response questions that are normally placed there as well. So you'll get to see that just a little bit more if you happen to preview the site and look at from the curriculum side. You'll see those extended questions and how they're presented here. So climbing back up to the top, that kind of highlights there of what you can access in the teacher dashboard, which is what you log on to first as an educator, as a teacher. What I'm going to highlight next is really what I think is one of our hot strengths in terms of a math program, and that is using the Path tab. This is where you can customize what your students learn within your class. You can do this by individual, you could do this by group of students, you can also do this by whole class. follows the same protocol, follows the same procedure. What we're looking at right now is the path for the entire class. So we jumped from the general dashboard into the path for the whole class. Now on the default here, this is the third grade. So you do see that all of the sections here, and we can sort of scroll all the way down, and you can see it just continues on. There's something like 30 some sections that the students will have to offer. They're all loaded in here. Again, we do cover every single standard, but you can edit that by just coming up here and clicking on the edit button. Again, just a brief overview of what can happen here. The easiest thing that you can do, it's taking just a moment here to load, the easiest thing that you can do is come over here once it's completely loaded. You can actually turn sections just by clicking on these icons over here. Clicking on an icon turns a section off, clicking again turns it back on. So you can turn these sections off and then back on again, and so on. What's also nice about this, let me scroll down a little bit using this right-hand bar. You can take these sections, sort of hover over the arrows here, and you can drag them into any location that you want. You choose the sequence that the students experience the sections. And they're like virtual objects. They get to take everything that's in the section with it. All of the activities, all of the days, all of the assessments, even those downloadables that I mentioned earlier with the curriculum. So very powerful piece. You can also drill down into individual days. If you don't want to cover certain days, you can click those off or back on again and go even further and click off certain learning objects, or we call them learning activities. Some teachers do opt out of, say, practice and remediation. They're really trying to conserve time, or they have students that are gifted in mathematics. You can always choose that. The other piece that I think is very interesting is you can come up here and add new sections. And important to note here, you've got access to kindergarten all the way through 8th grade, including assessments. And those are pre and post assessments as well, and they really just show growth. So a pretest would be given at your choice to show sort of benchmark where a student is in terms of their skills and standards proficiency. And then they would be given a post-test following a certain amount of time. Normally during a pilot program, we don't recommend it because it does take up a lot of time. And since right now we are campaigning for 1 month programs, you really just get to see sort of an overview of what we have to offer. So in looking down here, say for instance, you do have that 3rd grade class and you know that you've got some students who are gifted. So we'll click on 4, go up to a 4th grade level. And just to show you as an example here, maybe what you indeed want to do is bring the students up to a 4th grade level in comparing and rounding numbers. Very simple to add that to the learning path. You click and hold over here on the yellow and drag and drop that right into the student's learning path. It would be the same thing. What if you wanted money in decimals or any section over here? Click and hold and drag and drop that right over into the left-hand side. Now what happens here is a couple of things. One is you do have to save the changes. In addition to that, you do have to confirm those changes in your dashboard. So once we do that, and say for instance I took advantage of that right now, I'm going to save my changes here. Very important to note, once those do get saved, and it does take a moment, we're going to make the next move here. And it says the changes were successfully saved, but we definitely have to confirm that in the dashboard here. So I'm clicking on the dashboard, and then what I would do here is I would click on select all students, and then I would choose to either select the activity that I immediately want them to go to, or I can click on move to next. It really is going to be your choice. So a little overview of the teacher tools there in a demonstration format, just a little snapshot of what we have to offer here for teachers as well. Thanks.